Hello, bronies. It's Clayton, and I just saw the season 6 finale to Where and Back Again. And even though the season's been pretty mixed, this episode's actually pretty interesting, and it makes you wonder what's going to happen for season 7. But let's get to the story. Starlight Glimmer, played by Kelly Sheridan, heads back to her old town for a little festival. But since she's scared if she leads anything, she'll turn into the tyrant that she was before, she decides to leave early with her friend Trixie, played by Kathleen Barr. She's scared that if she leads anything, it won't go very well. Well, the worst kind of irony comes when it turns out Twilight Sparkle, all of her friends, including the Princesses Celestia and Luna, are all captured by the Changelings, and she needs to gather together a ragtag team of secondary characters, including Trixie, played by Kathleen Barr, Thorax, played by Kyle Rideout, and Discord, played by John Delancey, in order to save everyone in Equestria from the Changeling threat, led once again by Queen Chrysalis. So yeah, this episode's premise initially seems like a pretty fairly mundane reconstruction of the original two-parter, where that one was about 6 ponies taking out Nightmare Moon and getting the Elements of Harmony. This one's more about just 2 ponies, a Changeling and a Draconicus, going to the Changeling Hive to save the princesses and the main 6. But this episode actually does manage to pull off a surprisingly well-done finale, though one that's not as good as, say, the Canterlot Wedding or Twilight's Kingdom. But one thing that I did like about this episode is not only that it gave a lot of screen time to the secondary characters that we've been learning about throughout the season, but also that it does give the Changeling army something to do after the Canterlot Wedding. And I was wondering what plan they were coming up with after the season 2 finale, and since we hadn't heard about them in years and years and years, unless you count the comics. And the fact that they went for a plan that's actually pretty well thought out in this regard is actually pretty satisfying. Not only that, but Kathleen Barr always pulls off a great performance, not only as the always egotistical, great, and powerful Trixie, but also as the equally egotistical and even more evil Queen Chrysalis. Heck, all the performances are pretty great, with Kyle Rideout giving Thorax some new character development and reminding us of why we loved him and the times they are a Changeling, and John Delancey giving his typical over-the-top, chaotic performance as Discord. But the real show stealer here is surprisingly Kelly Sheridan. I understand Starlight Glimmer is still a character that's either love or hate, but I really loved her in this episode, as she really seems to have learned the lessons that she was taught in the previous episodes. How being a leader doesn't mean you have to rule by intimidation force or by using magic. And she learns the actual intricacies of being a leader and knowing when to take charge. And her conflict is surprisingly similar to mine when I don't want to be in charge of a class project. You see, sometimes I'm forced to be in charge of a class project, and I really think that if I end up in charge, everything will go poorly. So, when it turns out I actually do well when I believe in myself and when I remind myself the intricate parts of being a leader, that pretty much makes me realize that what being a leader is all about. Not only that, but the animation throughout the episode is stunning throughout, whether it's the dream sequences that Starlight Glimmer appears in or the Changeling Hive that's introduced. I cannot wait to see a playset of that at a Target coming soon to a store near you. And also, the comedy throughout is generally funny, as Discord and Trixie's constant bickering does make for some pretty cool interactions between the two. And the Changelings themselves turn out to be a threatening enemy while still having some comedic elements, making this episode entertaining throughout. Now, there are some problems throughout the episode, the 2 episodes, that do sort of bother me. For example, the episode acts like Starlight's been developing throughout the entire season, when really, Starlight's had very limited screen time throughout. And like I said in the Times There Are Changeling review, it's almost like the writers are aware of how much the fans hate her character, hence why they limited her screen time that much throughout the season. And throughout the season, she hasn't developed as much as the writers would like to say she has. It's a minor thing, but it's just something I've noticed. Also, the ending of the episode is a bit of an anticlimax. Without spoiling anything, the conflict feels like it's handled a bit too cleanly, and even though even though the snapshot redemption storyline that was done in the season 5 finale is not the case for this finale, it is still a little bit too fast to clear up everything that went wrong in the finale in just a couple of minutes. But beating the villain out of nowhere in a Deus Ex Machina way is sort of a staple of the series. I guess it's sort of like Avatar: Legend of Korra, where everything looks like there's no way to win, and then all of a sudden Deus Ex Machina comes and everything's alright. It's not something I'm particularly a fan of, but hey, at least it gave the Changelings some new character designs that are really cool looking. Again, coming soon to a store near you. So yeah, if I was to place this finale around the other finales, I'd say it's better than the Cutie Remark, and I think better than The Best Night Ever, but my favorite is still Twilight's Kingdom. But still, with great performances, an excellent sense of humor, awesome animation, and some true character development for Starlight Glimmer, I give To Where and Back Again a 9 out of 10. And honestly, I'm glad I made it through this review without making any Hobbit to There and Back Again jokes. See you later.